Welcome to another episode of the sketch series. Today I think I'm going to first I'm going to show you guys some of my sketchbook art here, just really quickly thumbing through it, and just wanted to keep you guys abreast of what I'm doing. Yes, I did use that word. I post all these daily on Instagram at Luke Riverplate. So if you're interested in checking out all my daily drawings, you can see that. On to my sketch. I actually started drawing this just the pencils first. I was checking out a history of Starlord thing on NerdSync Productions or something like that on YouTube, and got me interested in drawing him. So I decided to pull up a quick picture and decided to sketch him. And halfway into it, I said, "Oh, maybe I should record this as a video." Guardians of the Galaxy is really popular right now, and Chris Pratt is everywhere right now, so that's pretty awesome. So I thought, sure, I'll uh, I'll do a video of this. So I apologize for not doing the pencil sketch first, but now you can kind of see me going through it with a basic multi-liner, and I'm taking my time. I wanted this one to turn out a little bit nicer than the other ones, a little bit more refined. But again, these are my sketchbook drawings. They're not designed to be finished pieces that have the perfect pristine look to them. They're just things that I want to draw and I want to try and I want to practice at. And one thing you'll notice is I have a hard time drawing women. As I flip through my book, you may have noticed there's only two female figures drawn there, so I have to start practicing that more. Maybe I'll do a video on that pretty soon as well, and you can see me butcher how to draw female anatomy, which I'm terrible at. But I decided to go with the movie version of Starlord. I think in the comics they changed his outfit to match the movie, so I thought that was funny. Um, it's pretty cool. I really enjoy his little gun blaster thing. I haven't really looked at many pictures of it, so if it's wrong or something, I don't care. I just want to do something that looks like it and people can recognize as this is the type of gun that he uses. So I'm going to throw some geometry back here. I'm actually, as you can see, I moved the ruler in the middle of the skull almost and away from the side of the shoulder. I don't want the line of the arm, as you can see there, there's that vertical line. I don't want that to match the geometry. I want it to be a little bit askew of that. And then I'm going to go in and erase all my pencil marks, which I have a hard time with. If you draw a lot, you notice that the more you go over a drawing with different types of pens and stuff, the more it becomes finished, but it loses that kinetic energy that the pencil sketches tend to keep. So I really enjoyed doing a multi-liner, just a 0.3 black, and then going back with a pocket brush pen, because I feel like the thick and thin and kind of the edgy and sloppiness to it really add a lot of the kinetic energy back in that I have removed with my pencil sketch. So I know that might not make sense, but that's just how I look at it and how I see it. It's just me. And in the end, it's about what looks cool and what I enjoy drawing, and not what is perfect and what is, righteous in the eyes of artists everywhere. Again, I basically go over the main parts with the Pentel pocket brush. I'm not going to go over all the details like the inseams and all that. Mostly just the parts where things overlap. Now once I've started, I'm working with the gray first, and for this one I decided to do it a little bit differently again. I like to vary the technique just so I know that I have different techniques that I could try. And this one I'm going to go under everything with the gray, so everything except for the skin. I don't like to give the skin a harsh tone, a harsh shadows. I like to give it very subtle shadows. Same thing with the hair. But the leather jacket, the clothing, I'm going to give it all the same undertone of shading. In other words, I'm using the same marker, that gray, to shade everything all together. And yes, it looks very dark, but once the marker dries, it tends to dry lighter than it actually is. So don't worry too much about that. And so as you can see, I'm just going over it. And then I'm going to give the background the same tone. So you can see me kind of outlining there, being a little bit careful. And then I'm going to give the background the same tone just to make my character pop that little bit more. And I really need to get new markers and more varieties. I feel like I only have two grays and I would love to have a third. And I would love to have another color red, maybe a darker red or a lighter red. I'm not sure. Using the pink is kind of difficult because Mixing the pink and red can result in good color blend, but also if I don't do it right or if I wait too long, then I can't really use the pink to push the red pigment around, and then it becomes this really bad pink and red contrast, and I think that takes away from the overall drawing. So as you can see, I'm going over the leather jacket. His leather jacket is red by my accounts, or a maroon color. So the gray underneath really pops out that red, and it makes it look really nice. I'm just gonna quickly go over that, and as you can see there, I put up the image of the markers I'm using. I'm using the Letraset markers and the Prismacolor Premier markers, and now I'm using the pink there. You can kind of see, trying not to blend too much and keep that nice sheen on it, that dark and light sheen contrast. Now as for his shirt, mostly the comics draw him with a black or gray shirt, but I decided to go with the brown just so I wouldn't have too much gray in my image, especially since I did that gray background before I looked at the picture of his shirt. But just to give it a motif or a pattern, a repeated pattern, I decided to give his gun a brownish look as well. This way, two things kind of match, and it kind of creates this unity. And now I'm going to move on to the skin, and I'm going to go over it first with that first marker you see there, not the blue one, but the other one, right underneath it. The blue one will be for the eyes a little bit later. But I'm going to go over it pretty much uniformly all the way through. The marker tends to pick up on this paper, tends to pick up the black ink, so it gives it this natural darkness to it, and I kind of like that a little bit. Here I'm going over the hair, and yes, he has like a little scruff and beard. Again, I'm going with the Chris Pratt version, so it's a little bit scruffy. And I'm using the two tones there just to pop out that blondish look and make it kind of natural blonde and not bleach blonde. And once I've done that, you're going to see me go back and add some shadows into the skin and some blush, especially where the eyes are, where the chin and the lower lip is a little bit, and the ears, areas that can gather a lot of blood and tend to have a lot of tone to them. Now I don't have the marker. This is the GR8 marker, the Prismacolor. And I decided to go over all the leathery parts and the gun parts as well as the shirt with this overall brown tone, just to pop out that maroon a little bit more. And I kind of like the way it looks. Again, it goes down darker than it dries, so I'll be fine. And lastly, I'm going to go over his eyes here with that blue, that cerulean blue. Yes, it's a reference to Pokemon, I guess. And once I've done that, I'm going to take out my Jelly Roll pen, and I was cleaning it off to the side. Sometimes there's a little bit of pigment that it picks up, so I like to give it a couple rolls on another sheet of paper or on the back of a page before I plop it onto my drawing. And just kind of give some of the shiny parts. I don't know, I'm not being very specific. You can kind of see that I'm filling out that the areas that I left blank. I'm filling them out with that white Jelly Roll and giving some kind of sheen to a little bit of the outlines of the leather jacket as well. So here's the overall drawing. I'm pretty satisfied with it. It looks pretty nice. He looks very realistically built, not too buff, not too whatever, very realistic proportions. So I'm kind of happy with it. Thank you for watching, and I'll have another video soon.